Hey, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Ra'aza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakach Chodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Start of a new year. More prophecies and more enlightenment of this truth coming through the World Wide Web by way of the holy prophets of the Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, starting from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of the last coming days, and the turmoils that are getting ready to be unleashed in society. It's Apostle Elder Tahar Crown 2026, the year of apostates, sellouts, and agents, man. And also, Abba Ratazar, it'll be the year of the destruction of Babylon the Great and the deliverance of the children of Israel, starting with the elect, and Esau is getting ready to make his final moves, man, his final phases of that new world order. Put that final brick on the capstone on the pyramid, so to speak. You got this Edomite here, Israeli cyber security billionaire Sholmo Kramer. He's an Amalekite. Says it's time to limit the First Amendment. So this is part of the New World Order to get rid of people's so-called freedom of speech, freedom to speak out, impede on people's rights to speak against tyranny, especially from the government, man, because we're living under a straight-up tyrannical rule, especially in America, under the guise of the King of Babylon, Donald J. Trump, aka Nero 47, and he's about to come down upon the people with great wrath, especially you tribes, because if they have but a short time. Jacob's trouble, as apostles and elders of Great Millstone have been saying, has already started, and it's only going to intensify, especially in 2026. And this year's kicking off to a good start already, because now Esau's just coming out with their basically final plans to accomplish their new world order. So I've got this video here I'm going to play, and then I've got an article from Elon Musk and his Neuralink saying that they want to see everyone in 2026. So that's the final capstone of the new world order. And they're fast tracking this new world order, and 2030 is basically going to be is a thing of the is no longer up for negotiations, man. It's not going to be a 2030 thing. It's more like it's going to be 2026 going into 2027, that these devils want everyone on the face of the earth hipped up, man. The mark of the beast system being implemented around the four winds of the earth. So we're in those times right now as we speak, man. So this is why we need to gird up, stay stay in the spirit, constantly pray, and pray for the Lord's mercies, tender mercies, and deliverance in these times, man, because it's gonna get hot out here. It's definitely gonna get hot. So anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of this video. I'll play this little clip here, and then I'll jump into a few scriptures, and then hopefully brothers will be edified. So let's go.
I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online, and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government should control the social media.
Yeah.
So there you go. You heard it from one of the horse's mouth. That these devil oligarchs, part of the cabal, this cybersecurity billionaire, Mr. Kramer. And he said it's not just the average person, from person to person, that needs to be limited to speak. The government should issue it. So this is a governmental tyrannical rule that's basically part of the New World Order, part of this new image of the beast system that they want to set up, man. which is this new online digital system where everything's going to be tracked and traced and restricted in regards to your so-called freedom of speech. Esau's trying to get rid of that. And even as recently, I've seen other articles going into like Canada and other places around Europe saying they're going to restrict people reading the Bible verses, and online, and definitely brothers that go out there on the highways and hedges, they want to basically come down upon those that are reading Bible verses because it's seen as anti-Semitic against these fake Jays and against these so-called Israelis, that are claiming a fraud on other people's heritage because they're being exposed through the good book, as the Holy Bible, with the Apocrypha as well, and they don't want that information out there, and especially when the MOT to the B, which is prophesied only in the Holy Bible, 16:11, whatever version you have of the Bible, Revelations 13 verse 16 says the same thing, that they're going to issue a mark, and everyone on the face of the earth is going to be tempted into taking this mark, which is a physical device underneath the skin. So they want to be able to limit people speaking out against that, especially when they're about to mandate it globally, and they don't want people to not be able to speak out against the government, seditious behavior, so to speak, and that's including the prophets and the men of the Lord, because we come under the category of people that are seditious and against this tyrannical rule with these Edomites, especially in Babylon the Great, and we're basically like the biggest threat to Esau's New World Order because we're telling them that they're going to lose their kingdom and that they're going into slavery and that their kingdom's going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. So we're basically the biggest threat. The Israelites are the biggest threat to Esau's New World Order. So they definitely want to put a stop to that speech, that so-called hate speech, which is not hate speech. It's the good book. It's the gospel, from the good book. And it's basically prophesying the prophecies of the Lord. So these devils don't want that to come to pass, but it's going to come to pass anyway, whether they, restrict the Bible readings or not. The words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai don't return unto him void, man. So it's about, this is what it's about, man. And so they're going to start off, what is starting with this First Amendment, which is also going to, co-entail with the Mark of the Beast implementation of that system, where everything goes digital, and anyone that wants to come out and speak against it, whether online or out there on the highways and hedges, is going to be seen as a threat, a T threat, and basically divergent and seditious, someone that's against the government's issues and rules and legislations, or the austerity measures basically that need to be taken out. And that's why Esau's also got something called the red, yellow, and the blue list. And he's basically his hit list of all the so-called groups out there, so-called hate speech groups, that he wants to get rid of. It's part of the New World Order because of the depopulation, and also because they're, as I said, they're a threat to this society, man. They're a threat to the New World Order, which the Israelites are at the top of that list. That's why it says they're going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So we're coming into that time, man. We're in that time. 2026 could be the very pivotal year of the MOT to the B being implemented around the four winds of the earth, and Abarat as it is, because as soon as that comes to pass, everything's going to move in even that much quicker, and we might be out of here before the end of the year, regarding nuclear war and global warfare, basically, and America getting taken out by Russia and their compadres, so to speak. So everything is unfolding right now. It's a domino effect of events that's getting ready to unfold. You got a situation with Israel and Iran as well going on, Ukraine and Russia, so on and so forth. It's all culminating to the end of this society, though, and that's the beautiful part of it, man. This place is on its way out. So Esau's on his last leg, so to speak. So I'm just gonna go into the scriptures, but I'll read Amos the 5th chapter first. and then I'll come back to 2 Thessalonians. But yeah, we're definitely in that time, man. The famine of the word is definitely on the tables. This is Amos 5 and 11. I'll start from 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And who's the ones that's out there on the highways and hedges every weekend? You know, the true men of the Lord, the prophets, starting from the apostles and elders, a great millstone. You know, and it says, and they bore him that speaketh uprightly. Yeah, because we speak righteousness. We don't come out with speaking smooth words. We ain't out there to appease people's feelings. You know, the Lord said, you know, basically blow, shout upon our people like like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, man. You know, show my people their sins, basically, and tell them to repent. Otherwise, they're gonna have to face the penalty, the death penalties that the Lord's about to pour out here in Babylon the Great and worldwide, man. Pure grievous deaths are coming, 2026, man. You can feel it in the air. It's a time of great judgment, man. The Lord's not playing, and He's not going to be holding back for too much longer, man. He's just going to let rip out here, man, to show people they're supposed to fear that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and tremble at His presence, man. You know, and then reinstall fear in the earth, because fear is lacking in the earth right now. That's why you got a lot of proud folk and people talking shit against the scriptures and just running their mouths, evil coming out of their, with just evil mindsets and so on and so forth, and people thinking that they can get away with it and they're not going to be judged. But the Lord receives and records everything by way of the holy angels, man. They're in every place, beholding the evil and the good. That's the eyes of the Lord, which are the holy angels. So everything's recorded and everything is being noted, man. And Yahweh Shai is definitely about to pour out that judgment on all flesh, man. Especially these 2/3 out here and these other, heathen nations, man. Only ones that's not going to get torn down, so to speak, or destroyed as his elect. So verse 11, it says, for as much as they're treading upon as Slakia. Yeah, so it says verse 13, it says, therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time. What time? The time of the end, which we're in right now. It says, for it is an evil time. Yes, so when all hell's breaking loose, the prophets of the men of the Lord are going to be drawn back from the streets. We're not going to be out there on the highways and hedges when it's straight martial law, tyrannical, totalitarian rulership on the face of the earth, especially in Babylon the Great, when you got the NSPM 7, the standard or law that DJ Trump just put into office, executive order that he just signed off on, to basically have the National Guard out there for so-called rioters and anyone that speaks against the tyrannical rule of the American government. They're going to be put on that hit list, man. They got the NSPM, man. So they're going to have the National Guard out there, doing his, personal bidding. So it says, therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, which is talking about the men of the Lord, the prophets, for it is an evil time. So it's gonna be a time of turmoil on the face of the earth. It's like you got Amos 8 and 11, but that's the main precept talking about the famine of the word and the First Amendment rights being taken away from you. But this is what's going to lead to verse 16 in Amos 5 and 16. Therefore, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, power of hosts, the Lord saith thus, wailing shall be in all streets. Yeah, all hell breaking loose. Jacob's trouble is going to intensify. And they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. It says, and they shall call to the husbandman to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. All that in the vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. Yeah? So time of destruction is imminent. It's impending doom is on the way, man. So this ain't a time to be lackadaisical or messing around with the word of the Lord, taking this truth for a joke. You already seen what's happening to certain scoffers out there. They're being exposed, and certain men are being put to death. You know, especially whether they're part of the truth or guys that fell out. You know, or you guys that's just of the world. You know, commentating on this truth. The Lord is judging people out here, man. You know, and it's only gonna get worse as the year goes on. You know, as Amos 8:11, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send for a famine in the land. Send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, even though it's going to be taking place as well, death upon the earth, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Yeah, so there's going to be a famine of lacking, of hearing His truth. Because Esau, as he said, in Canada, they're saying they're going to restrict Bible readings and all of that. It's not going to be, enlisted as part of a hate speech now in certain countries. And as that Israeli devil was saying, the cybersecurity billionaire, he was saying that, yeah, it's gonna, the government should come down on people that want to express themselves online, that want to have their own individual thoughts, man. They want to get rid of that. They want you to be controlled goyim, basically, man. Just controlled serfs for their new world order. Don't ask any questions and don't, fight back, basically. Just do as you're told, So because it's all about control for these devils. So that's exactly what's going to come to pass. So we're in that time. And then you got 2 Thessalonians here, which I'm going to read in a sec. But let's go on to the next point that I had. Because this is all part of the technocratics or technocracy of these elite, wicked Edomites, man, that are setting up the council of their iniquity. That's talked about in Psalm 64, so-called enlightened ones. They're the technocracies or technocratics that are pushing for this, infringement on people's rights. The so-called First Amendment is Second Amendment rights to bear arms. Basically, like Bush said, man, baby Bush said, the Constitution is just a piece of paper, man. During his administration, he said that, and Trump is basically enacting that to show that the Constitution, because everything he does, he just basically steps on the Constitution, doesn't have any respect for it, basically. When he's just basically ruling as the king of Babylon, tyrannical rule, the cruel Lord, man. And he's about to show them horns, as we said, Revelations 12:12, because if they have but a short time. So he's definitely going to come down upon the people harder than ever, especially you tribes, man, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I think they said in February they're going to come down for deportations of so-called Haitians, man. They started with the Northern Kingdom, and now they're going to move on to the Southern Kingdom, So it's gonna get political out here, for real. So anyway, let me come back out of this. I had the definition for technocracy. Let me just get that real quick. Okay, so this is the meaning here for technocratic. It says technocratic, relating to or categorized by the government or control of a society or industry by an elite of technical experts. The rise of technocratic elites, and I was going to call this video the year of the technocratics, or the year of the technocracy. This is the rise of the technocratic elites. That's even a good title for a video, which I'm probably going to use that, because basically I've got the article here in regards to this guy Elon the Dust Musk and his Neuralink brain C-hip endeavors, and he's saying 2026 is the year that he wants everyone to receive a brain C-hip, man. And that's part of the technocratic. He's a technocratic. He's part of the technocracy, basically, of individuals, small group of elites that are pushing for technology to rule over human beings, merging man with machines, basically. This is a technocrats are individuals with technical training and occupations who perceive many important social problems as being solvable with the applied use of technology and related applications. So what applied technology and related applications they're going to use to solve the problem of America and their faltering de-dollarization and so on and so forth? and everything going digital. The C-hip, man. That's the ultimate technocratic device that they're going to use to control the people, man. You know, Bill Gates is part of the technocrats. Elon Musk is part of them too. The wicked elite is run by a few, a small group of wicked elites. This is the rise of the technocratic elites. And that's, you know who that's talking about. That's talking about all these banking families, which, you know, they're going to make the whole banking system go digital globally. And guys like the cybersecurity guy, Sholomar Kramer, he's part of the technocracy, man. He's part of that group that wants this technology to basically govern over the people, man. And that's exactly what these devils want. That's the New World Order in a nutshell, you know. So the article here that I had, of the guy Elon the Dust Musk. Let me just try and grab it real quick. That's like, yes, lucky I found the link from Reuters, you know. It says Neuralink plans high volume of brain implant production by 2026. We're already in the year 2026. And this is January 2nd that this article came out. So this is updated 22 hours ago. Musk says that Elon the Dust Musk, he's part of the technocrats that are pushing for technology to rule over, be a problem solver. That's part of the order at chaos. All the chaos that's going to be unleashed in society, in the economy, financially, so on and so forth, socially as well. And what's going to be the solvable solution? The solution out of all this chaos is going to be what? The MOT to the B. You know, the immigration will solve the immigration problem, and all of these criminals, so on and so forth, you know, not being able to be identified in time. It's all going to culminate into that whole system being controlled and tracked and traced through a biometric device known as the C-hip, man. That's going to be in your right hand or in your forehead. And when it goes into the forehead, C-hip, Neuralink technology, that goes into metapon in the Greek. So that's in the scriptures, man. They want to put that in your forehead, man. That's what Elon Musk is for. So Elon Musk has never been about free speech. They're going to try and say this guy Musk was always for free speech and so on and so forth. No, he's part of the agenda, man. He's part of the social setup of these wicked elite that's getting ready to, you know, push this device physically into people's bodies, man. He's already started on a small number, but now they want to make it global. So they're gonna have to mandate this thing one way or another. So it says December 31st, to Reuters, Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink will start high volume of production of brain-computer interfaces devices, basically the C-hip, and move to an entirely automated surgical procedure in 2026. So a robot's going to be able to put this device in your head. There's not going to have to wait for no doctor to do it. They're going to have robots doing their job for them, man. You know, because they're probably going to be more precise, so to speak, and, you know, more functional to do the job, not make any mistakes. But either way, who wants to put a damn C-hip in their damn head, man? I definitely don't want no robot putting no C-hip in the damn head, you know? But this is what Esau's going to push, and people are going to go for it, especially when all hell's breaking loose. And their backs against the wall. It says Musk said in the post of social media platform X on Wednesday. Yeah, and this guy was supposed to be the so-called one of the front runners of the freedom fighters for freedom of speech. But he's a shield, man. He's working for the elite. He's part of the technocracy, man. You know, and the whole social credit score system. That's going to be a byproduct of the whole C-hip technology be initiated, because these devils want to make themselves gods on the earth, as it tells in Ezekiel 28, also in 2 Thessalonians, man. They want to sit in the Heavenly Father's seat. They want to be known as the technocratic gods of the earth through their technology, through the left-hand side. Through all these forced miracles, vain and forced miracles, man. And people are going to fall for it. The 2/3 are going to fall for it. It says the implant is designed to help people with conditions such as spinal and cord injury. So anyone that's disabled basically or paraplegic, they're the ones that's going to be more likely advised to take the brain C hip than the right hand and or left hand C hip. It says the first patient has used to play video games, browse the internet, post on social media, and move the cursor on the laptop. This is what it's all about, man. Integrating man with machine. The Internet of Beings, as they call it. Internet of Things and the Internet of Beings, man. Merging man with machine, man. Transhumanism. That's what it's all about. And it's definitely could be this year, man, because they're pushing it out. From the 1st of January, 2nd of January, now they're saying that this year they're going to have high volume of brain implant in production, meaning they want to force it out there this year, man. They're touting it hard. They're not holding back no more because they know that they have but a short time. As the scriptures say, man. So these are the technocrats. This is what Esau ultimately wants, man. They're a bunch of this is the technocracy that they're trying to accomplish in 2026. So let me jump up and I'll come back down. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a come and falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, which is who? These Edomites. They ruled 2,000 years ago during the Roman Empire, the Greco-Roman Empire, and they're ruling right now in the second leg of the Roman Empire under the guise of America, NATO and the EU, the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. That's the whole Edomite conglomerate right there, headed by America. So the son of perdition is still ruling to this day. The deadly wound that was healed during the Renaissance period, that's when these devils came back. That's when their kingdom was basically revived. It says, who poseth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he sitteth in the temple, he sitteth as the Most High, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, God. Salakia, man, and that's what these devils want. The only way they can do that is through using their technology on the left-hand side. Knowledge shall be increased, So the technology, the science that they have right now is come to that sophisticated level where they're able to implement this new world order and, show themselves to be technocratic gods on the earth through the technology, man. Through mass production of that C-hip, whether it's through the brain or the right hand or the left hand, man. So they can track and trace and control people through that C-hip technology, through that biometric device. And if you can't see that, that's what the MOT to the B is, and the law's basically not dealing with you, man. Maybe he doesn't want you to know, because he obviously might want you to take that so he can destroy you. There's only one way, one explanation for what the MOT to the B is, and it's definitely not sin or anything else. It's the C-hip technology, man. That's exactly what it is, a physical biometric device they're going to stick underneath your skin, the karakma. So Esau's got a fetish for trying to be like the Most High, man. He's got a God complex, as brothers always say. So let me jump down. Verse 7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Yes, so the wicked can't be taken out of the way until these prophecies, major prophecies, these last major prophecies have come to pass, especially the implementation and the mandating of the MOT to the B, round the four winds of the earth, pursuant to Revelations 3 and 10. Then the Lord's going to take this devil out of the way, and says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which was by way of the prophets, which they're getting ready to demonize and condemn right now, and cause great try and cause great harm. But they're gonna be met by a spiritual force in that day when they try and do that. It says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the Lord's going to destroy these devils, but only after these last few prophecies come to pass, man. Especially the MOT to the B, Jacob's trouble, and then World War III. It says, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan. Yeah, because they come in the spirit of the spiritual demon Satan on the left-hand side. That's why they're using technology on the left-hand side through the spirit of the spiritual demon Satan to try and control people on the earth. It says, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Yeah. And part of those lying wonders is that device, that biometric device known as the C-hip, man, which they're going to mass produce and install in people's bodies. And that's why I said, that's why I went to that first video with that Israeli cybersecurity billionaire, Kramer, saying that they want to basically infringe on people's right to speak out, their First Amendment rights. Because as soon as they make the C-hip mandatory, like the apostles been saying, they're going to come down with, as hate speech and disaffirmations and so on and so forth, rulerships, restrictions, so to speak, censorings for anyone that speaks out against the MOT to the B. They're going to be seen as it's going to be seen as a form of hate speech, and you're likely to be arrested and all of that, so on and so forth. Because they want people to be, to fall into that trap, that snare. They don't want people speaking out against, the C-hip technology. Especially when they're trying to make it mandatory and all that. So anyone that they see as a threat, they're going to basically come down upon. Whether online or, out there on the highways and hedges, so to speak. Especially online. With the social media platforms and the TikToks and all that, people like to speak out and leave comments, man. That's why Esau's going to come down upon the people. In verse 10, it says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, which is the 2/3, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So they're not going to receive this truth, the 2/3, they can't receive it. Because their judgment is that they're going to take the C-hip so the Lord can burn them with nuclear fire in the shores of America, Babylon the Great. And for this cause, the Lord, the Most High, shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Yeah, they're going to believe that the salvation to the problems that they're going to be facing is going to be that C-hip technology. They're going to be advised to take the mark of the beast and think that's just going to save them from what's to come or what they're going through. And really, that's going to mark them for death. That's going to put them on the Lord's hit list for deletion. It says that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So 2/3, they're going to have pleasure on unrighteousness, especially taking that mark of the beast underneath the skin. And so what? They're damned. They're condemned already. So the Lord can judge them. So that's why 2/3 are not going to make it. The Lord only cares about the elect, because the elect are not going to take the C-hip, even if their heads, are put in the guillotine and chopped off, which that's going to be happening too. To show you that this is a thing of faith. Be faithful unto death, as the Lord said. You shall receive a crown of life. So let me read this last precept and we'll close out. 2 Ezra 16, verse 68 says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And who's that? That's Esau, man. His burning wrath is kindled over the children of Israel. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. Yes, so there's going to be a lot of arrests, a lot of forced imprisonments going on in these last days. That's when Esau, especially when they mandate the C-hip and people are trying to fight back, talk against it and so on and so forth. A lot of people are going to be, get arrested and put in concentration camps. It says, and they that consent unto them. So when you get arrested and you consent unto taking that C-hip technology, it says, shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. So people that think that that's going to be some good advice to take the mark of the beast, And definitely don't listen to your woman, because she's gonna be, easily seduced into taking that mark of the beast. If she's not part of the elect, which a lot of these women aren't. A lot of these women are part of the 2/3, especially our women, and they're gonna be the first ones to basically bow out and accept the mark, especially when they want to feed them and their families and so on and so forth. They don't want to see their kids starving to death. So a lot of them are going to take it, and they're going to advise their husbands or their partners to take them to the clinic and take it as well. So a lot of men are going to get taken out because of their woman, man, following their woman. Many that, as it says in Isaiah 3, they which lead them cause them to err, man. That's why you can't listen to your damn woman, man. But this is only for the elect anyway. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in a reproach and trodden under foot. So you're going to have to give your consent. He's going to give you a life and death scenario. Accept this chip and you get to live, or if you don't, we're going to kill you and your family. You're going to watch them suffer and die. So Esau's going to be threatening a lot of Jakes, that's why a lot of Jakes are going to basically give up and fall out. Not fall out, but they're going to basically just give up and fall and pledge allegiance to Esau, basically, man, because they're lacking their faith. They're part of the incredulity, they're part of the infidels, basically the faithless. For there shall be in every place, and in the next city is a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So this is when Esau's going to be basically going to have enough. He's had enough, basically. He's going to come down very hard, man, upon the tribes, harder than ever. There's going to be a lot of slaughtering, man, as the scripture says in Ezekiel 21 verse 9 on to 12. I always read that, man. A great sword is sharpened and also furbished. And there's going to be a great slaughtering in the house of Israel upon all the princes of Israel. Esau's gonna show how much he truly hates you tribes, man, in these last days, in the time of Jacob's trouble. And the Lord's gonna let him do so too, because that's part of the 2/3 judgment, man, punishment from the wicked. So for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So that includes the men of the Lord, man. Esau's going to try and come down upon us too. It says they shall be like madmen sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. They're going to be on smoke, basically. Straight pandemonium, man, the word pandemonium is a Greek term which means all demons, basically. So all demons are going to be active in the time of Jacob's trouble. And these devils being like madmen sparing none, meaning them spirits are going to be possessing these, them death angels are going to be possessing these Edomites to go out there and slaughter Jakes, basically, old and young. Like it tells you in Ezekiel 9 and 4. Then without the spiritual mark, which is the Tawa, which means an exemption for judgment. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So that's when the true elect, like the Lord's slowly revealing right now in these last days, are going to be shown. And I guarantee, speaking as a man, but through the Spirit, I perceive that those men are going to be more than likely part of Great Millstone, man. I don't see them being part of the IUIC and ISUPK and GOCC and Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, whatever, other titles and camps that these guys go under. All these, so-called affiliates as well. It's going to start with the prophets and elders, apostles of Great Millstone, man. They're going to be seen as the chosen. Why? Because they were the one prophesying about the MOT to the B, and they never changed it up. They never changed up, never switched up. They stuck to the prophecy and they taught what they was taught, the true breakdown, interpretation of that scripture, and they never switched up, man. They didn't add or take away. They maintained their faith and their true word of prophecy, that the MOT to the B is indeed the C hip, and these other camps are going to be looking very, wary and very, very stupid, very sottish, basically, when they mandate the C-hip technology, the mark of the beast. Jake's going to go scrambling, man. A lot of Jakes are going to be confused. They're already confused already. But even more so when Esau mandates that C-hip, that Jake's going to be out of here just losing their marbles, man. Not knowing where to turn. Their leaders are probably going to go into hiding because they're a bunch of hirelings, if they don't repent and tell them not to take that C-hip. So we going to see, man. We going to see. But it's evident, it's going to be more very evident that the men of the Lord are going to be the apostles and elders, starting with those men of Great Millstone, man, because they never switched up. They stuck to the doctrine, basically the sound doctrine. That is that, So anyway, with that, I'm gonna close out, man. But this is definitely the year, the rise of the technocrats, the year of the technocrats, man. And we can only wait to see how it unfolds. But it's definitely gonna get spicy this year. We can feel it in the air. For those that are wise, man, and those that are circumspect, keep watching and praying, man. So anyway, with that, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechach Kodash, Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.